Hello. So this is going to be a new episode of my relationship podcast, The Blueprint. It's been a while since I did one of these, so I don't even remember what number it is, but I'll find out when I post, I guess. So I wasn't even going to do anything more today, work related to work, even though I don't really think of this as work, but it kind of is also. It's my calling. But I was sort of given certain messages throughout the day, and then just now I was feeling a bit upset, and I ended up going on a little walk around Shanklin Village, and I had a couple of experiences that sort of boosted my energy and sort of also led me to realize that I need to talk about this now. So basically I want to talk about timing, and trusting in the timing of things. It's something that I've struggled to accept and learn, because I always felt I had to control stuff. I had to control how things happen. But that control was very much related to my fear, because I never felt safe growing up. So I always felt like the only way for me to control my reality, the only way for me to make sure that I don't get hurt is by micromanaging everything, by controlling my reality. But even when I was a kid, I used to enjoy surprises, but now whenever I hear the word surprise, I'm like, I don't get excited. I just feel fear, because I've been conditioned I've sort of learned to approach life with fear rather than just excitement about something good happening, because in my experience it's just been a lot of bad stuff happening. So I've been conditioned, or I condition myself to expect the worst. And that's another thing I do, which is whenever something new happens, I always envision worst case scenarios. And especially if I meet someone new, like in terms of friendship or in terms of a relationship, as soon as I feel like, this is someone I have a connection with, I immediately go into worst case scenarios, and then I start self-sabotaging. I start doing stuff that just isn't healthy. And I've done a lot of shadow work to kind of realize the toxicity in what I'm doing, and trying to overcome those toxic behaviors so I can actually have healthier relationships, friendships, connections. It's an ongoing process. It's exhausting. Sometimes I feel like for every step forward I take 2 steps back, but that is how it's meant to feel. So if you resonate with that, if you also feel like that, don't worry, that is exactly how you're meant to feel. And it's horrible, but trust me, you are making progress, even though it seems like you're not. I am also, while I was saying that, an image came into my mind, but now I just need to get it back. Hold on. I don't know why, but I'm seeing this red telephone booth, the old telephone booths. It reminded me of the one that in London where I used to live, my parents' house. Now my sister, I don't know if she's moved. I think she moved from there, but basically at the end of the street there was a telephone booth. For some reason I'm seeing a telephone booth, red telephone booth. I don't know if that means there's someone you need to call, or there's something about who uses them anymore, right? But for some reason that's just in my mind, in my head. I had to say that. I don't know how it relates to this message. Maybe I'll get clarity as I keep going. But I was talking about timing and trusting in the timing, and also I wanted to tell you, so shadow work is hard, and also I posted a video on shadow work. I think it was the first episode of this Blueprint podcast, so check it out if you want to know what shadow work is and how to do it. In general, also, I learned to let go of that control. That is a very strong sign that I'm channeling, by the way. Burping and yawning, it shows that you're channeling, basically. So, what was I saying? Yes, I learned to let go of control a lot. I'm still working on it, something that I regress back to that old timeline where I'm trying to control, trying to micromanage, and then I have to tell myself, no, this is the old you, remember? You killed that version so that you can be this much better version that's much more in flow with the universe, in flow with things, rather than trying to control every single thing, just being on the sort of receiving end, letting things happen naturally, not trying to control everything that's coming in, trying to understand that, if something doesn't work out the way you wanted it to, it's probably because there was a reason and you're being redirected. It's not about being rejected, it's about being redirected to something better. And I have actually seen that happening in my life over and over and over again, where doors have closed that I thought would never close, but then it turned out it was the best thing, because at that time I didn't know. And that's how this thing works, because the intuition you're receiving is from your higher self, and your higher self is from a future timeline. Oh, now I understand the red telephone booth. It's a TARDIS. I don't watch Doctor Who, but it's the closest thing to a TARDIS. It's about time travel and timing time travel, so that's why I was shown that. So it's about time travel. You are literally, your intuition is literally your future self telling you to do or not do certain things, because they know the future. And that is how I am able to see future events. Like, if I close my eyes, I'm so in tune with my highest timeline now that I go back and forth between timelines very easily. And I can see into the future by just closing my eyes and concentrating. And then I also receive messages from sort of tarot readers who are being guided by my higher self. And then they give me messages about future events. So I will see confirmations of things. I will see events that are supposed to happen. For example, I was told I would see three things. It was an owl, a rainbow, and a blue fish, and that would be confirmation that that certain reading was right. It was, it was meant to be part of my story for whatever reason. And that happened, and actually at the time I was like, okay, an owl and a rainbow are easy. I see them everywhere, like in books or like in a shop or calendars. It's common. But blue fish, but then very strangely I actually ended up seeing blue fish, like a model of blue fish. I was like, oh shit, this stuff is real. Like, I freak myself out sometimes by how real this stuff is. Like, people think spirituality isn't real, but that's because you're not awake. You're still operating under the matrix, under under the old earth. People who are into spirituality know, they are awake, and they know that this stuff is real and that it is the new earth, and it's up to us to wake ourselves up and actually follow our intuition, our highest timeline that is literally sending us messages from the future, guiding us in this journey of life towards our most enlightened self, towards our highest purpose, to get us out of this matrix that's keeping us stuck and unfulfilled. So that is kind of, and actually it's so funny that I said that I would freak myself out, because that was literally a message from one of my spirit guides. Oh no, not spiritual guides, an actual person who does tarot readings. Is Chosen 144. I've shared his videos before. He's like one of the people whose videos really resonate with me, so I follow him. And he a while ago he shared a video that said one of your psychic powers is gonna freak you out. And yeah, that's actually happened. And I was thinking, is that really gonna happen? I don't know. I think I'm pretty chill, but literally freak myself out. All right, so that's just examples of confirmations you can get. So that's yeah. So I was talking about timing and trusting the timing of things, because a lot of the time in my life, I've actually felt like I am not where I'm supposed to be. And by that I mean, when I was aged 17, I got depression, and then things went really downhill in terms of my academics, and then I basically felt like I lost or wasted several years of my life. And I felt this pressure I felt like I was always playing catch up. And then I went to Rome and studied medicine there for 4 years, and then COVID hit and things went downhill again. And I got to a stage where I was like, either I leave this place or I get sent to a psychiatric unit, just complete mental health collapse. So I chose my mental health and I left there. So then I came to Cyprus, and it's like over again, I felt like I was trying to catch up. I was playing catch up. So all my life I felt like I am not where I'm supposed to be. I felt like I was never content with my life, because I was always like, I should have been this, I should have been that. But actually, and that has been driving me relentlessly to the point where I exhausted myself. I burned out on all levels, and I was keeping myself stuck in such a low vibrational energy, in such a black mindset, out of touch with my spirituality, out of touch with life. I was living in I didn't have the normal experiences that a teenager should have, that a young adult should have. I was just so focused on catching up on everything that I lost, because I felt like I wasn't where I was supposed to be, that life just passed me by, and I lost out on so many experiences. But now that I've actually stopped chasing what was never meant to be mine, because I never wanted it, I was doing it because of external pressures and my internal fears. But when I conquered those fears and stood up to the people who just wanted to control me versus letting me reach emotional fulfillment the way I wanted to, I got to that point of I regained everything I lost. I regained experiences that I thought I was too old for. I regained the body and face of a much younger person. I'm 30 years old, but I constantly get people telling me I look much younger. They're like, I even got someone telling me they thought I was 19, which is the age of their granddaughter. And I was like, wow, I didn't see that coming. I mean, I've been told, I'm like 24, early 20s. No one really believes that I'm 30, but to be told that I look like a 19-year-old was a huge shock. But that's what I mean. But I do feel that difference in me. I see myself and see how much better I'm looking, and also how much better I'm feeling in my body, in my fitness levels, in my energy. Like, I don't feel like a 30-year-old. I feel young because I have let go of all the burdens that were keeping me stuck. And that is because I stopped listening to my fears. I stopped listening to other people's opinions. I stopped caring what other people think. I put myself first. I put what I want first. I started listening to my intuition and using my higher self as my biggest guide in life. And also I relied on God, because I believe in God. And for me, the way I feel about God is, I have felt alone for all of my life. From a young age, from a 5-year-old, I always felt like I was the only one who was going to be there for myself. And I had to be the grown-up in my family. I was the one taking care of everyone since I was 5 years old. And also my needs were never important. My needs were never met in the way that I needed them to be met. And that's why recently I've had to do a lot of work to wake up my inner child first, because she was literally like in a fetal position like this, and I couldn't even talk to her. I couldn't get her to wake. And then slowly I got her to wake up. I just gave her a lot of love, showed her that, you know, you're safe now, don't worry, you're okay. And I got her to wake up, and slowly she started waking up. She started, you know, expressing her needs, and I started like reparenting myself and giving her the love and security that she never experienced as a child. And I know it's a bit weird that I'm talking about my inner child as a separate person, but a lot of the times that is how I think of her, because it just makes it makes it easier for me to take care of her when I think of her as my child. Whereas it's more difficult for me when I think, oh, I need to take care of me, because I am not very good at that. I'm not good at taking care of myself. I spend my life putting my needs last, and always thinking, oh, I'll need to prioritize other people's needs. So for me, it's much easier to think of myself as the parent to my inner child, and then as a mother, I am a lot better at taking care of myself, my needs, even by thinking of them as my inner child's needs. I hope that made sense. So I've done a lot of work to reparent my inner child, and she's very happy now. She, you know, she feels safe. She feels her needs are met. I never deny her what she needs, but sometimes I do need to balance what her needs versus her wants, and sometimes her fears can, fear is an illusion, and her fear, she's sort of the amygdala in a sense, because sometimes fear pops up, and that's normal. That's part of our survival instinct. But me, as my higher self, I know that sometimes I just need to conquer my fears. So I tell my inner child, don't worry, it's all good. Fear is an illusion. There's nothing to worry about. And I go and face my fears. And then other times I'm not in such a good mood. I'm not really in a place where I'm ready to face my fears. So and when the fear pops up, I'm like, okay, this fear is there. I know it's an illusion. I know that if I want to, I can face it. But right now, I don't want to. It's a choice. Because I know I've done it before. It's not like, it's weird, all these fears that you face, they still keep popping up. But you can, once you do it, once you face your fears once, you can do it. So I knew I could do it. It's not like I can't do it. I just don't want to right now. And that's perfectly fine, because that's the whole thing about the flow and the universe. And it's about balancing, fighting and for evolution with being compassionate towards yourself. And it's a fine balance. And sometimes it's hard to know how to balance it. But it does come with experience. You do get to that stage where you realize where you need to just focus on self-compassion, and where you need to go, no, this is just lack mentality. This is just keeping you stuck, and you need to face this fear. And I've had both experiences. Like, for example, the sea has been my biggest fear for years. I don't know why. I do think I know, there are several reasons. One is I was always gifted, and as a child I used to be able to see clearly the demons, the spirits that were sent to scare me, because I had these gifts and because they wanted to scare me into submission. So I could see spirits from a young age, both on land and in the water. So probably I was traumatized from that time. I know I definitely was traumatized by spirits on land when I was a child. I used to have nightmares. I used to see things all the time, and then I think at some point I just prayed to God. I'm like, please get rid of this ability that I can see. I don't want to see. I don't want to believe that these exist. If I believe these exist, I cannot survive. I actually cut myself off from my spirituality as a survival mechanism, because the fears were too much. They control me to the extent where I was like, please God, just I don't want to see this anymore. If I see it, I can't survive it. The fear is too much. It's literally like my heart be like, I'm paralyzed by the fear and I can't do anything. So please just take this fear away from me. Not take the fear away, take this ability to see away from me. And God did that for me. He took it away. So I stopped being able to see anything. And then I was much happier, but I was asleep. Spiritually, I was asleep. I put myself to sleep in order to survive. That's what I needed to do at that point in time in order to survive, because I was surrounded by demons, including in my family members. Demons were possessing my family members. And that's why I've had such a horrible life. So then once I woke up spiritually a few months ago, God was like, okay, you asked me to take away your gifts before, but now are you ready to accept them back? And I said yes, because I needed spiritual growth. I needed awakening, because I saw what was happening with my family. And I was like, this cannot be my reality. There must be something more than this. And this just reminds me, Belle in Beauty and the Beast, there must be more to this provincial life. Literally, that's how I felt. I was like, this cannot be my reality. How can I be so different to everyone around me? It is not possible. How? So there must be something else. And if God has always been there for me, and if God is telling me that he removed a gift, I actually forgot that until he reminded me. He removed this gift because I wasn't ready. But now he's asking, do you want it back? And I said, yes, I want it back, because I want to see what's out there. I want to see what I've been asleep to see. So going through that, and now I'm again able to see spirits. But the thing is, I've faced my fears, and I don't see them from a fear mindset anymore, because I know fear is an illusion. And I know they can't hurt me because I am so spiritually protected. The only power they have over me is the power that I give to them. And that is very much, it's a bit like Harry Potter and Dementors, and Harry being afraid of fear itself. Fear is the only thing you need to be afraid of. Sorry, it's just I saw Harry Potter stuff while I was out, and I was like, wow. So that's why I saw it, to trigger this memory. And I had a memory, and I had another message about Beauty and the Beast, like earlier today. It's just all the synchronicities are just coming in, and it's just like, oh wow. It's incredible actually how this works. It is kind of freaking me out in a good way, in a really good way. You can see how excited I am. And it feels good to be so in touch with my gifts after denying them for so long, and then denying, not that they exist, but then being afraid of judgment, for not speaking up about my gifts in a frank way, because I'm afraid of judgment. But that's not good. I mean, that's another fear, isn't it? And that's the one I've now conquered. I don't care. I know this stuff is real. And if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, she's deluded, then chances are you're still asleep and you need to be awakened. And I really hope my videos can help with that. I highly suggest you go back to the beginning and watch everything, because it's gonna help you so much, trust me. If you're in that mindset of thinking she sounds like a crazy person, then you're probably still asleep. And I'm sorry for you that you're still asleep, because you're missing out, man. whoever you are, you're missing out. Anyways, I don't know, I feel like I was talking to someone specific there. Anyways, so yes, trust in timing, trust in divine timing. Try to let go of control. Try to learn to trust your intuition. Stop trying to gaslight yourself. Your first instinct, that is your intuition. Go with it. Your first, because what comes after is going to be you gaslighting yourself, or it's going to be fear telling you, oh, you know, you can't do that. So it's never too late. That's something I realized. You know, I this is what I began the message with, is that I spend most of my life feeling like I need to play catch up, that I'm not where I'm supposed to be, but that where I'm supposed to be is an illusion, because wherever you're supposed to be is exactly where you're supposed to be. That is how divine timing works. All the events that happened in my life happened the way it was supposed to. It was always supposed to happen this way. And that was very difficult for me to accept, but it was, because unless I went through those experiences, there was no way I would get to this position, and my future self knew that. That's why everything that happened in my life happened exactly the way it was supposed to happen. I was supposed to get to this stage in my life, and in order to get to this stage, I had to go through all those horrible experiences that taught me and gave me the tools necessary to get here. So I don't regret anything that happened in my life, and that is a very powerful position to be in, when you don't regret the past and you see the past as a teacher, and you feel excited about the future instead of fear, and you enjoy the present. Because a lot of mental health problems especially are caused by obsessively regretting past mistakes or past events and obsessing over them, rumination, etc. And then also obsessively worrying about the future. And in doing that, we forget about the present moment. We forget to enjoy the present moment, and that is all what mindfulness is about. That's why I'm running those art therapy sessions every Sunday, on live streaming them on Facebook, because that is supposed to teach you to focus on the present moment. And that is a way to reconnect with your body, with your soul, your mind, and help you and free you from depression, anxiety, personality disorders, OCD, you name it. Mental health problems are caused by our environment and our internal and external environments. It's a human condition. It's a man-made condition, and the solution is not drugs. Definitely not drugs, because we don't know how they work. Recent research by experts in the field have shown that those drugs, we don't even know, how we thought the mechanism worked isn't how it works. So literally it's placebo effect, and they come with so many horrible side effects that people just, it doesn't help. That is not the solution. The solution is to get in touch with your body again, to live in the present moment, to practice mindfulness, to connect with your higher self. And that's what I'm trying to do here. That's why I've been sharing my story. Not because I get anything out of it, but because I genuinely want to help people heal and get to the stage that I'm at, because it is such a wonderful place to be where I'm at right now, especially compared to where I was a few months ago. I just want to say, last note, actually a couple of things. One is I am running mindfulness sort of sessions, art therapy sessions from 6 to 7:30 every Sunday UK time, British Standard Time. Right now it's going to be live streamed. It's not physical because I don't have a venue yet, but I am looking to get that set up. So that's on Facebook. It's free, obviously. I'm basically going to be completing a puzzle. This is the puzzle that I'm going to be completing. And I'm just gonna put the live stream on and do it. I might talk through it, talk while I'm doing it. I don't know yet what I'm gonna be doing. We'll see. And you can do either, like, you can also, the point is for you to be doing something mindful too. That can be a jigsaw puzzle, that can be anything you want. Basically, you can do cross stitch, embroidery, crochet. I don't know why I'm saying all of these, needle, sewing stuff. Maybe it's on kind of been on my mind. You can paint, you can write poetry, or write a book, or play a board game, decorate something, whatever art stuff you can think of, you can do that. And this will be like a sacred time for that, 90 minutes, just that. Or paint my numbers, crayons, literally like drawing, whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter. Even if you want to just read a book, that's also cool. Whatever you want to do, join me. We can do it together if you want, or you can just do it on your, whatever you want. I just started this initiative and I'm gonna do it. Another thing, yes, I am walking at least 2 miles a day for charity. I've put a donation link in my description on YouTube and on, is it on Facebook? Maybe. I think on Facebook too. So I would appreciate any donations. I'm going to be using that money to buy stuff from charity shops, like this t-shirt I bought from a local charity shop, British Heart Foundation. And then I basically use, I also buy puzzles and books and things for these workshops, because I do want to start those up in a physical way. And I'm thinking of sort of raising money from those workshops and then putting it back into the charity. So I would appreciate any contributions from that. I am also setting up my business, so I am basically offering tarot readings, relationship advice, but not therapy. I'm not a therapist. I have studied psychology. I have a master's in psychology, but I'm not a therapist. Just want to make that clear. But I'm happy to give you advice if you want to hear it. I also do spiritual healing. I can make charms, do protection spells, chakra cleansing. I've posted the link in the description on YouTube and also on Facebook. If you want to book any of those things, reach out to me. And yeah, that's it. Until next time.